Yes, indeed, I am a normal gay, not queer, but sometimes I agree with leftists. Let's not get crazy. It's like once a year. By the way, click the link below if you are also a normal gay and you want to help support my channel. This is new merch I have. Hi.
As an autistic person who's also trans, I often don't feel connected whatsoever to my body. It's just like a skin suit, and I gotta like wake it up to feel present.
This makes sense. Autistic people tend to not feel comfortable in their bodies. Therefore, a lot of the times they think they're trans. I've covered this in a video before, but it doesn't mean that they are, because they're not.
If you got they, them in your bio, I am not going to argue with you. I am clearly outnumbered.
Agreed. Whether it's multiple victimhood identities, multiple personalities, or a ton of sheep just following the flock, the truth for the most part, at least online, is that people like us are outnumbered. So I don't even bother arguing with them. Instead, I actually do what the leftists have always wanted, which is give these people a platform for them to make 0 cents on and for me to make some dollars with. Where's the lie though?
Normalize hating on minorities when they are bad people and not because of their identity. If I catch you saying some prejudiced shit, I will defend them till the day I die. But you want to talk about that person's character? I will use they, them all day long, and I will never intentionally misgender somebody, but just so you know, they can kind of be an asshole.
Full agree with calling out the assholes, even if they are minorities. Assholes are assholes. This is what full equality is about. Equality with treatment, equality with self-accountability, and equality with self-growth. I also don't think it helps your arguments or debating skills in any way to purposefully misgender somebody. Like, just don't even bother mentioning it, because then they're just gonna get emotional. They don't even want to hear what you have to say then.
You tell me you don't fuck with politics, that tells me that you don't have friends who politics fuck with. And that concerns me.
Half agree. This is what we call actual privilege. But just make sure you keep that same energy when it comes to people being upset over pronouns, microaggressions, cultural appropriation, and people not agreeing with fat positivity. Just like I said in a recent TikTok video that I just showed you guys. Go follow me there if you aren't already. If those said things are major issues in your life, guess what, babe? You are the one that's actually privileged, okay? Maybe, just maybe, these people are finally learning that being stubborn and doubling down does not get you anywhere. So far, some of these leftists are at least leaning towards starting better habits. 2025 is the year of new movements, which is why I'm so glad to once again be partnering with Fume. The flavored air category is quickly becoming the leading alternative to vaping and smoking, and for a very good reason. Fume is an award-winning flavored air device that, according to my friend, feels like the real thing.
Tastes good.
Yeah?
I didn't know.
But only brings the flavor to your mouth and not to your lungs. Fume helps you quit the habit of vaping. You can use it anywhere because there is no smoke or vapor, no chemicals, no addiction.
There's no nicotine.
Nope. And it helps you fill the void and create better habits. If you are indeed used to vapor, Fume is not as strong as you might expect, but it also won't leave you crying in pain in a hospital bed. I would compare this somewhat to like an herbal tea instead of a like nasty soda. Go and check them out and start bettering your habits today. Go to tryfume.com/Arielle. That's tryfum.com/Arielle, or scan the QR code on screen and get your free Fume topper when you order the Journey Pack today. Make sure you go and support companies that support this channel and our morals.
Newsflash, just because I only like white guys doesn't make me racist. You only like boys, doesn't that make you sexist? Huh?
Obviously, this person is being sarcastic, but in that sarcasm lies the actual truth here. You are not transphobic or sexist or racist or misogynistic or whatever word they tend to spew at you that week just for having a specific type of person that you're sexually attracted to. I'm a lesbian. I tend to go for Latinas or island girls or Mediterranean looking people. I don't like super white girls. I'm not into blondes with blue eyes or anything like that. Like, I like darker features. Does that make me racist? Or is it only racist when you have a sexual attraction to white people? Since you're the actual racist here, by the way, and only listen to people of color, here's what this college dude at UCF had to say when I asked him this exact question a few months back.
Do you think it's transphobic if somebody doesn't want to date someone that still has, or just somebody that's trans in general? Do you think that's transphobic?
Nah. It's like if it was race, like, oh, I want to date this race because of my type. Like, it's just someone's type, so I don't even think it's transphobic. Like, in the same way it wouldn't be racist.
I don't like white girls. Like, I like anyone that's like my color or darker. What about you? What's your type?
I don't have a type.
Let's say you're out on a date or you're on a dating app and you meet this really hot girl, and then you find out later on that she's trans and has not had bottom surgery. Or maybe has, but you still, When do you feel that somebody should disclose that kind of information to you?
Like on the dating app, you don't gotta say it, but once you go on the first date, I feel like that should be like the first thing you should say. Like, because for some people it's a deal breaker. So
For me, I'm a lesbian. I would not want to date someone that still had. So I can understand with a lot of straight men, or in fact, probably most of them, they feel the same way.
yeah, like
Have you ever had an experience like that yet?
no, I haven't.
No?
No.
Any of your friends?
Nope.
Do you
Not
think...
that- Nah.
No?
Nah.
Next.
You shouldn't transition until you're 25 because that's when your brain is fully developed. I know you're full of shit because you know what you're...
Yeah, if you think people shouldn't be allowed to medically transition until they're 25, then I also think people shouldn't be allowed to enlist in the military until they're 25. No more preying on recent high school graduates to be agents of American imperialism. Sorry.
As much as I hate the double septum piercing, the oversized ugly glasses and t-shirt, and the eyebrow slit, which was actually made popular by like rappers in the early 2000s, not by you, I do agree with some of what this person has to say. Why is it that in some cases adults are considered to be 18, like when they're to be drafted for war, when they choose to go into the army, right? But 21 is considered to be an adult with alcohol, or 25 when renting a car, even though we know your brain fully develops at the age of 26. So the car thing kind of makes sense. We constantly criticize so many leftists for not being consistent and logical in their arguments when we as a country in many ways are doing the exact same thing.
I turned on Fox News and I see why so many people support the Republican Party. So a recent poll found that Americans' top issues were the economy and inflation, healthcare, and immigration. And what they associated with the Republican Party was immigration and the economy, things that are top of mind. But what they associated with the Democrats was LGBTQ rights and abortion, which are important, but which aren't to be top of mind and aren't the immediate priority in most people's lives.
This is true when people can't afford groceries or are afraid of leaving their houses because of illegal immigrants and their gang members. Aren't leftists the actual privileged ones here? They're the ones focused on kids transitioning and being misgendered, microaggressions,
Fox News was talking about why are we spending and wasting so much money on overseas aid and wokeness when there are more dire things to fix at home, and that's something that resonates with a lot of people. You can fix two things at once, but whatever. The average American isn't super plugged into the news and probably doesn't know the intricacies of solving all these problems, but they do have things they care about and want those things fixed. The Republican Party is at least addressing and acknowledging these things in arguably harmful ways, while the Democratic Party just pretends that these issues don't exist.
Remember when Democrats told you that inflation wasn't happening, and then when they were caught and had to be honest about it, they tried to convince you and gaslight you that inflation was actually a good thing? Same thing with illegal immigrants. At least Republicans are trying their best to fix these issues instead of just pretending they don't exist.
Personally, don't believe that you need to be on hormones to be trans. And I also think that just because you're on hormones doesn't mean that you necessarily identify as a trans person.
There is some truth to this. To me, being trans is both having gender dysphoria and at least transitioning in one of the three ways, whether it's physically, medically, socially, visually. You have to do your best in whatever way you can to live your life as the opposite sex. But in that same breath, I also agree with this person that said that taking hormones doesn't necessarily make you trans. People take hormones for all different types of reasons. I take birth control. It's funny because I'm a lesbian, but that's technically just a hormone. Am I trans? No.
The Democrats' moral high ground is crumbling. For my entire life, I've always heard that the Democrats were the party of equality and science and the environment and blah, 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 blah. Yet right before our very eyes, we're seeing them lie. They lied about pardoning Hunter Biden. KJP has been at the White House press dais for months saying that Hunter Biden was never going to be pardoned. And now he's been pardoned for all the way back to 2014 for potential crimes, not even a specific one. So all the things that Trump was impeached for is literally based around trying to investigate Hunter Biden. Like, do Democrats not get that conspiracy theorists only exist because there's a lack of information and transparency going on?
Fully agree here. People are continuing to wake up, which is a good thing, and call out the bullshit, whichever side it arises from, right? If you pass as a dude, use the dude's room. If you pass as a woman, use the women's room. It is as simple as that. Both parties have it wrong. We had this figured out 10 years ago, way before self-ID was enacted into law, and before AGPs were taking advantage of said law. If you don't know what gender you pass as, do a little experiment in your hometown. Go into each of the restrooms and see which people give you the dirtier looks. Then you know, okay? There's your test. And if the answer is both, situations, then maybe just use a family restroom.
At a time when so many people want to tell you what to do with your body, for women and gays, dressing the way that you want to every day is the most political thing that you can do. Because wearing what you want is a form of protest in the eyes of people who think that you shouldn't have the choice to.
I obviously agree. Got my normal gay shirt on here. Again, link in the description below. As long as you're not like showing your genitals or doing anything illegal with something that you're choosing to wear, you should basically be able to wear whatever you want. And it should fall under the category of free speech. I do wonder though if you guys would feel the same if I showed up to LGBT Pride wearing this and a MAGA hat. That might be coming up in a video soon. Subscribe if you're not already so you don't miss it. And make sure to go and check out today's sponsor, Fume. Go to tryfume.com/Arielle. Make sure you go and support brands that support our morals and this channel. Other than that, I will see you guys back here in a few days with a brand new video. Until then, I love you, love yourselves. Make sure you subscribe. Bye.